It's the Group Chat Podcast. Mount Rushmore, we cutting up. Yeah, picking top for never growing up. Casey, Damien, Nick, Tommy Turtle, clowning on the mic. Yeah, it's straight up hurtful.
Welcome to the Group Chat Podcast. Why is that mouth there again?
Oh, that's the wrong one.
That's better. Now it's time to move to our Mount Rushmore, which is a sponsored segment. Tell us about our sponsor and tell them the topic, rather.
Mount Rushmore is sponsored by our buddies at Precision Agri-Spray. And this week, the topic is the GOAT of Louisiana sport team seasons. So we are going to rank our top 4. And I went very personal. I don't know if I went like the GOAT or everybody's going to think it was the GOAT personal seasons. So just say 2025 New Orleans Saints. That would be a season. So I believe we started with Tommy last time. We're going to go ahead to the end of the table, and we're going to start with Mr. Nicholas Hebert.
First pick in the Mount Rushmore of Louisiana GOAT seasons. Got to be the greatest college football team of all time. 2019 LSU football Tigers, coached by Ed Ogeron, Joe Burrow, and the rest of the bunch. I don't need to list them. Y'all know them. Easy selection.
That's why I went elsewhere on this stuff.
I absolutely loathe you.
Well, you anybody was going to take that one.
That's the obvious choice.
I thought I said anybody but Tommy would have taken that 2019 team.
Fair enough.
I'm going to go with the 2003 LSU football national championship team with Nick Saban, just because their defense was so good. They were so exciting to watch because their defense would score almost all the points in the national championship game. They won via a pick six. So I'm going to go 2003 LSU football.
Again, I went very personal. As a kid, this was the coolest thing in the world for me. Led by a quarterback that later played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, threw for 3,200 yards, 36 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Mr. Sean King, not the political guy. On the ground, led by Tony Converse, and Jawan Dawson was actually their second leading rusher, which tells me that Tony Converse destroyed everybody.
And Dawson from here? Yeah, I think he's from here.
Give me the 1998 undefeated Tulane Green Wave. That year, if they would have had the current college football playoff, they would have been in and they would have made some noise.
I agree with that. That was legit.
Jamaican Dartez was the second leading rusher. I'm sorry.
Jawan Dawson was the receiver that went to play for the Browns.
And he went to H.L. Bourgeois. Jawan Dawson did.
PJ Franklin was actually leading receiver. And little did I know, he also played on the basketball team.
Come on.
Or Perry Carter.
Tell us about your 2 John Curtis teams that you're choosing.
I always get pigeonholed into the wrong places. I mean, give me the obvious 2009 Saints. I mean, I don't think I need to say anymore. They're the States franchise, first and only Super Bowl. Pigs flew, hell froze over. Probably won't happen again with what it looks like. So that is Louisiana GOAT moment for me. And then my number 2 might be a little surprising, but give me the 2007-2008 New Orleans Hornets when they were led by Chris Paul, Tyson Chandler, Crescent City Connection. I believe they went 52-26. They won the Southwest, went to the conference semifinal, should have won. That was one of the worst refereed series I've ever seen. And New Orleans basketball has pretty much been in shambles trying to chase that high ever since. But that was an awesome time. The arena was packed. Those lobs, CP3 was a walking triple-double. Peja hitting threes. Those yellow uniforms. Birdman.
Peja heads running through the crowd.
J.R. Smith, one of my favorite NBA players ever. That was good times.
Gennaro Pargo.
Jackson Roman.
Bowen. God. Jackson. Oh, God. We went from a really fun time talking about that roster to a really dark place talking about Jackson Roman.
So I my first note was 99-2000 Saints. That was the first playoff win.
Yeah.
That was Aaron Brooks' coming out party. Everybody still hates him. Saints Hall of Famer in 2014. Again, as a kid, so pumped up that the Saints were even in the discussion to be in the playoffs. And then
that was 2000, 2001. Just because the game itself was December 30th, 2000.
That's Hakeem drops the ball, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what year was that?
2000, 2001.
2001.
So give me the 2000, 2001 Saints led by Aaron Brooks. Hell of a team. I could probably rattle off every freaking person on there. That's back when Saints football was fun because they had just coming off a ton of losing seasons, the Ditka era, etc. And as a kid, that's a core memory of mine.
Was that the game where somebody caught a pass at like the 10? There was nobody there and someone walked into the end zone, like literally walked into the end zone.
We talked about that. That was the dude.
Was it in that game?
Who was that?
I just remember Willie Jackson scored 3 touchdowns.
It might have been Willie Jackson.
Yeah, I think Willie Jackson caught one, and like the dude, the defensive back was like trying to climb over his shoulder and like just fell over, and Willie Jackson just turned like from the 5 and just like walked in like he would have just been, speed walking.
Let me grab some stats from that year while we're here.
Is that Chad Martin at running back?
You had Aaron Brooks. Maybe Aaron Brooks wasn't as great as I thought he was. 1,500 yards. He came in halfway.
Yeah, that's the year that Blake got hurt.
Blake.
Yeah. That's why Brooks was such a hero. He was the backup.
Ricky Williams led the team with 1,000 yards rushing, 8 scores. And on the wide receiving side, you had Joe Horn with 1,308 touchdowns. Willie Jackson, 523 and 6. And Keith, get out of the pool with 239 and 1 score.
Is Aaron Brooks the second best quarterback in Saints history?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Bobby Hebert.
He won a playoff game. Bobby J didn't.
Bobby Hebert made it to the playoffs a bunch of times.
Jake Reed was on that team. I thought he was going to be so much better. He was coming from being the second fiddle to Chris Carter from Minnesota. I thought he was going to be legit.
I like that one. I remember where I was when Hakeem dropped the ball. I actually liked the Saints then. I got an Aaron Brooks jersey. I wore it here for the fantasy draft. I was jacked up. That was a fun Saints season. For me, I will go 2023 LSU baseball. Paul Skeens was just a freaking machine, dude. I mean, just mowing people down. That stretch where they played Wake Forest a couple times in a row, unbelievable. Tommy White hits the walk-off home run. Just so much fun with that baseball team. So LSU 2023 national championship team with Skeens and Cruz, and you got Dugas who wins, College World Series, all-tournament team, a local boy. So much fun, so much excitement. 2023 LSU college baseball.
Give me the 1992 New Orleans Saints football team. That was the cha-ching year. I think we ran off maybe like 10 or 11 in a row to start the season, and we just kind of crumbled in the playoff like we did every year in that era. But still, city was on fire. Everybody's cha-chinging each other. There was no high fives or anything. Everybody just passed by. Cha-ching.
That I was too young. That's really was the thing.
Time if you look back on it now.
You know who that was? You know who that was?
Seth
Green.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's so weird. I remember that season. I don't remember the cha-ching, but y'all got to understand, I was 4 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a bunch of those games.
Okay, and I'll kind of stick in the same era with the same team, the 1987 New Orleans Saints. Bobby J. Bear's rolling. The Dome Patrol's coming into their own. Dalton Hilliard's killing everybody. Ruben Mays, Tommy Barnhart, Martin Anderson, Eric Martin, Quinn Early. A bunch more. I'm sure they had a bunch more on that roster. Ronaldo Turnbull probably. Obie Brenner. Looking at Tommy. Tommy's looking up on Google to find the rest of the roster.
No, I'm looking at a card auction.
Made me realize that, hey, bro, this Saints team that everybody always tells me sucks is actually pretty good.
My next one is going to be an LSU football team that didn't even win the national championship. I've told this story on this show. My second favorite LSU football team besides for the national championship team with Burrow and them was 2001 with Rohan Davey at quarterback. LSU wins the Sugar Bowl that year with Nick Saban as the head coach. That was the first LSU team that taught me as a fan, like, dude, we could really like do stuff. Other than that, I was proud of like the 7-5 DiNardo Independence Bowl years. But to watch LSU beat Illinois in a Sugar Bowl for me, it was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. This is a team that could like be very good. So yeah, that is my favorite LSU team. Rohan, Josh Reed, all them boys over there. That was such a fun team to watch. 2001 LSU makes it to the SEC championship game. Is supposed to get killed by Tennessee, who was playing for a spot in the national championship. We spoiled that for them, made it to the Sugar Bowl, was supposed to get killed by Illinois, big underdog in that game, crushed them in that game. That was my favorite team.
That was the year that LSU beat Alabama, and Davey had 528 passing yards with 239 of those going to Josh Reed.
Yeah, monster.
Yeah, LeBrandon Tofield scored 3 touchdowns that game. Yeah, that's definitely a memorable game for sure. I'm going to stick in Baton Rouge, and I'm going to go 97 LSU baseball, Gorilla Ball. That year, that team put on a freaking clinic at the plate. They were, what was their overall record? 57-13, 22-7 in the SEC. You had Brandon Larson, 381 batting average, 110 hits, 40 home runs, 118 RBIs. And then Eddie Furness, who anybody would take the year that he had as a even freaking backup, hitting 378, 98 hits, 17 home runs, and 77 RBIs. That, I believe, started a different trend in baseball, and I think that led to some of the college baseball rules getting adjusted, and that was a fun time as an LSU baseball fan.
Any team that makes the sport change the rules is a fun team, and that team was definitely that.
Except the Philadelphia Eagles.
Correct. Yeah, that's a great point there, Counselor. Yep, that's a great point.
I'm going to go with the 2020 Louisiana Raging Cajuns. They were 10-1.
That's Nick, not me, by the way.
First time ever nationally ranked. Got as high as number 15. They went up to number 19 in the playoff. They didn't get a better record because their opponent in the Sun Belt tournament Sun Belt Championship got COVID or whatever, so that got canceled. But started a pretty good run for old Sun Belt Billy the next 2 years and put UL nationally ranked for the first and only time probably ever in my lifetime. So that's going to be up there. The next one, give me the 1997-98 Salafouche Tarpons State Basketball Championship.
I was waiting for somebody to go into the high school ranks.
You know, it was a lovely time to live down to Bayou, to be down there, to drive. Well, first off, just going to the games. You know, I remember being a little kid and you'd go see there, and it was really awesome. Like when Jamar and Mo and Rosh West got the Flint Gray 13s, and the whole rest of the team had to wear the team shoes. That was my favorite part. But, you know, they came out to Hell's Bells, and then it switched up into Mystical, and a whole bunch of white people just going crazy and having no idea what the rap music was playing. That was fun. And then going to the Cajun Dome, you know, led by Zyrone Richardell, state champions. That's a GOAT Louisiana sports moment for me. It's probably never going to be done again. Let's just put it out there. So.
No. It
I'm sorry. 4A. Well, they're going to be down at 4A. So.
Well, here's the look. This year, if volleyball had a split, and I get it's volleyball. It's not but volleyball would have won a state championship. It could be done again in 4A. It could be done again.
I was just specifically saying basketball.
Yeah. I hear you. I didn't think you were hating. I was just saying in Division II, it'll be a lot easier.
I hope so.
Don't at me on this. Again, I went personal favorites. This team was not very good. Definitely not one of the GOATs, but one of my personal GOATs is going to be, let's go to 98 New Orleans Saints. Mike Ditka's second year. Things were a freaking disaster, but I loved watching this team. Led by Billy Joe Tolliver and Kerry Collins, that whole debacle. Leading rusher Lamar Smith, who they got from Miami, thought he was legit, ended up not being legit. Ray Zeller's in there. My guy, my GOAT as a kid, Troy Davis from Iowa State. Andre Hastings was probably the leading receiver that year. Sean Dawkins, Cam Cleveland, Keith Poole, Brett Besh. Like, that's all my guys. That's my core memories of the New Orleans Saints and how crap they were. Made me appreciate the Super Bowl run for sure. And made me appreciate everybody having to deal with that same kind of effort now.
Whew, God bless you, brother. That's rough. I respect your reasonings behind that, though. That's your childhood. My last one, I'm gonna go. I'm picking between a few. I'm gonna go with the Faith Informer team with Rusty Barn and them. That was so much fun.
It was.
Community just taken by storm, and look, it was a team. I prefer that one to the Ross and Mo team and then look, I had a blast as a kid watching those guys play. It was unbelievable, but that team was supposed to be really good. The Faith Informer team was coming off of a 1-9. Everybody thought they were going to be awful. I remember I was at LSU at the time. People were freaking out when they won the first game. Like, oh my God. Then they slowly start putting it together. Then they have a speed bump. They lose T.D. White, kind of get knocked down a peg. Then just the train just starts rolling and rolling and rolling. And Rusty starts getting, bigger games and more accomplished. And that was a fun season. And I wish I was down for all of it because I was in college for some of it. But listening to those games was a thrill. Going to some of the games on the back end was a thrill. And then lastly, it was so much fun because my roommate at the time, Richard Fisher, would come back down the bayou on Friday and host the post-game show for KLEB. Or KLRZ rather, and listening to the callers troll the ever-living shit out of him was unbelievable. Hey, Brennan, what you thinking? That was some of the best stuff unbelievable.
I know a guy. Yeah. You know what was awesome about that year, coming from the 2 prior years? The fact that we didn't just run fullback dives every single play, no matter if it was 1st and 10 or 3rd and 55. The transition from the offensive mind was so refreshing, and to be able to win those type of games just changed the entire culture of the football team.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Close it out.
And rounding out the Mount Rushmore of GOAT Louisiana teams, give me the 2007 LSU football fighting fucking Tigers with Matt Flynn, Jacob Hester, Glenn Dorsey, Calvin Shepard, friend of the program, Jared Mitchell. That team was something else. I feel like we played a lot of really close, like crazy games that year and then just beat the shit out of Ohio State in the championship. Can't ask for a better season than that. Go Tigers.
I think I've told this story before, but I was in the student section the night that Demetrius Byrd caught the pass against Auburn when Les Miles almost ran out of time. And I remember it was, oh shit. What are we doing? Oh crap. We're going to lose. Like, what are we doing? And then ball in the end zone. Oh, crap. It's going to be intercepted. What are we doing? Then, yay, hooray. Then it's you look up and everybody threw their drink in the air. Everybody in the student section left that Tiger Stadium that night soaking wet. Everybody got drowned. But a lot of fun. Remember it for the rest of my life.
My only honorable mention is going to be, I'm not exactly sure the year, but the 2 Gerald Honeycutt years, the posse.
That was on my 1992 Tulane basketball.
Yeah, that was some really good stuff. Perry Clark had Fogelman jacked at the time and competing with everybody, and just a fun team to watch.
I have a few honorable mentions. We got LSU men's basketball 2006 with Tyrus Thomas and Glenn Davis beating Duke in the NCAA tournament.
That was fun.
We got La Tech's women's basketball throughout the 90s. I don't remember anybody on the team. I just remember them just beating the shit out of people.
Am I going to have to be the one to do it? I know y'all are all Caitlin Clark people. I liked whenever LSU won for the women, man. I thought that was fun.
And not to be left out, we got 2 South Lafourche High School football championship teams, 1971, 1977.
That would be Big Steve's answers. Big Steve would say that. Big Steve would talk about the track and field teams and Vorney threw the javelin from Fouchon to La Rose. Like, he would talk about all those stories. Like, and I'm joking when I say it, but like, it would be interesting to hear the perspective of somebody his age, because he would talk about those teams. He would talk about the year that South Lafourche made it to the top 28 with Jay Carlin out of nowhere. He would talk about that. There was a random year in the early 90s that the girls made it to the top 28 with Coach Bouvier at the helm. So, like, there are a bunch of teams from the yesteryear that older people would know that we just didn't have a chance to see.
That was a good era for South Lafourche girls basketball in the 90s. They had some powerhouse.
I like the honorable mention were the 2011 Saints. Probably the greatest offense I've seen in the NFL in a long time. When Breeze broke all those records, that was pretty good.
Who was the playoff loss that year?
That was when they lost to the 49ers.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was the best Saints team, Tommy.
Was that when Darren Sproles was on there? I feel like when Darren Sproles was on there, that team, and Jimmy Graham, that team
was when
the best.
When
I heard he had
Smith
played
had his
basketball?
career game.
Who was the running back in the beginning of that game that just got killed on a helmet-to-helmet? Was it Pierre Thomas? So the Saints running back got hurt in the first drive of that game in a blatantly illegal hit.
I think it was Pierre Thomas.
Pierre Thomas, I believe, went out early. And then, of course, Vernon Davis goes off and fucking Kaepernick. No, it was Alex Smith, not Kaepernick.
It was Alex Smith.
Alex Smith leads them to
He ran that long-ass run. Drew Brees came down and scored with like 20 seconds left. And my other honorable mention was it was a tie, but I didn't want to do Bebe like that. So 2021 LSU was one of my favorite seasons. But I guess I'm going to go with 1992 LSU, their worst record ever. I've got to put 2-9. So that's going to be up there.
Here.
What about the Trey Bruce era at South Lafourche? I somehow got caught up on the NFHS app trying to watch the volleyball game and ended up catching their top 28 game against Neville.
Oh, we were so much better than Neville.
Yep. But those were some really good teams that the community really latched on to that really hits the heart.
Two stories about that team. The first one is Turtle and I show up to a home playoff game that year, and we plug in everything, and all of the radio equipment just decides, hey, fuck you, we're not working. All of it. The headsets, everything, it all decides hey, today we're broken. We're on strike. Turtle and I called an entire game with me calling the studio on my phone, him calling the studio on his phone. No headphones, no nothing. Just, hey,
where was that game at?
At home. The quarterfinal game. Hey, Bruce dribbles down the floor into my phone. Turtle getting as close to me as humanly possible so that he could hear what I'm saying. Me getting as close to him so I could hear what he's saying. We did the whole thing on a telephone call. That's the first crazy story. The second one is after the game against Neville in, I think it was in Alexandria. We go out there and a parent comes up to me after the game, and he says, hey, are you Jerry Gisclair? And I immediately say, no, that's not me. And he says, hey, well, are you the one that does them Salafouche games on YouTube? I said, yes, sir, that is me. So I'm expecting him to be like, oh, hey, hey, good job. I love what y'all do. He said, no. Hey, you made fun of my daughter shooting a free throw in the first round game, and that really hurt my daughter, and I want you to apologize to me right now. I laughed and I said, ain't happening, boss. Then he got like kind of confrontational. And I was like, you want me to say something about your daughter's shot? Yeah. It's even fucking uglier than what I said on the air. And then I walked away into the press conference room.
KC, dang.
She shot free throws like this, dude. And look, we even said, you could go back and watch, it's still on YouTube. We even said during the broadcast, it doesn't matter how ugly it is if it goes in. She made them both. We even said that. But old Jimmy Schmo from Minden, Louisiana buys his ticket when he sees South Lafourche is there just to come call me. Get out of here, bro. We beat y'all by 70 in the first round. Get out of here.
Sounds like something Geed's dad would do.
I'm trying to get the year. I think this is right. The 2023-2024 South Lafourche Biddy 10U girls. One of the best seasons in Biddy basketball history.
What was the year again? I'm sorry, I missed it.
I think it was 23.
23?
Emmy and
we were loaded, and our season got destroyed by a tornado that passed through St. Bernard, which had no repercussions on anything that we were doing.
It just stopped your momentum.
It stopped the momentum. We were in a national championship game, had all the momentum, had beaten every team there, and no, there's just.
By the way, I saw Emmy last night. Emmy's now taller than me. And watching her early season clips, golly, she's good, man. She's gonna have a big year for you, DY.
Oh, look, the only reason they lost because of the coach. The team was loaded.
Yeah,
and you'll see them in the coming years.
Yeah. So that's all for our Mount Rushmore segment. We thank you guys so much. We will have another one of those in our next show. We are not telling you the topic until then, so stop asking.
Who's the sponsor for the Mount Rushmore?
Precision Agri Spray. We thank you guys so much.
Are you mocking me?
No, that was my announcer voice.
And as always, God bless. And go Tarps.
Wasn't my
That's
best
not
work.
even what it is.
Wasn't my best work. Can we do it again?
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
That was pretty good.
He's
You ever notice
drinking
that?
and everything.
He hunches over like when he does it, like y'all all looking at it.
And he points. You got to point at the camera.
And as always,
Wow, I can't say ass.
And as always, God bless and go Tarps.
Are you afraid that he's going to sue you if you say what he actually says?
What does he say?
You think he's got it
Bless America.
copyrighted?
Oh, is God bless America?
It's Go Tarpons and God Bless America.
It's the group chat podcast. Mount Rushmore, we cutting up. Yeah, picking top for never growing up. Casey, Damien, Nick, Tommy Turtle, clowning on the mic. Yeah, it's straight up.